Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host, Josh Sias. And I'm going to jump right into this episode. Vergil Ortiz versus Ajibis Kavalaskis happened last night. And I got to say, what a good fight to gauge more or less the talent and where Vergil Ortiz is going to take his young, very budding career. Congratulations. If you don't know, yesterday, Vergil Ortiz Jr. out of the RGBA Boxing Academy. Robert Garcia, shout out. You guys had a very good night. I know you were working the corner of Joshua Franco, but Vergil Ortiz ended up dropping Ajibis Kavalaskis 5 times into an eventual stoppage, and that moves Vergil Ortiz to 18 wins, and they're all via KO. What an impressive feat. Honestly, I haven't seen a record so good in a very long time since Deontay Wilder. I'm sure there's other people out there. If I'm making a mistake, I'm just kind of coming off the top of my head. I wanted to touch on this fight. Basically, what I saw from the jump was Vergil Ortiz doing what he does, comes forward, try to establish a nice, strong jab. And I saw what Mean Machine does. Mean Machine out of Lithuania is a very formidable opponent, has a very strong jab, very good, solid right hand. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say he's an underrated boxer, but I'm going to say it because he did a lot of good things in the first couple rounds. I'm not going to sit here and say that he won a lot of the early rounds. I felt like some of the rounds were close, but immediately Vergil Ortiz got hit with a lot of shots that, quite frankly, we're not used to seeing him get hit with, where they look like they affected him. They affected him. He got hit with the overhand right. He got hit with a couple of hooks. And Kavalaskis was trying to go to Vergil Ortiz's body since he has that really high guard. And he was trying to make his hands drop so he could land that overhand right. He actually hurt Vergil Ortiz early in the fight. And I was like, wow, I think Kavalaskis caught him and might have maybe hurt or stunned him and dropped him. But of course, when you look at the replay, he got pushed down, then encountered a knockdown. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It was a very competitive fight. And Vergil Ortiz's jab was sharp as fuck. I'm not going to lie to you. That jab was popping, snapping Kavalaskis, offsetting him. But prior to him landing that jab, he wasn't landing that stiff jab. And Kavalaskis was coming over the top, which Vergil Ortiz in my last video, check that out, the prediction of the fight for today or tonight, he basically caught him. I mean, Ortiz sometimes comes in and gets hit with overhand rights, but Vergil Ortiz ended up dropping him early, and I don't think Mean Machine ever really recovered. Sure, he was there in front of Vergil Ortiz and was trying. I give him credit. Look, Mean Machine's tough, but eventually Vergil Ortiz was just snapping his head back with that jab and outboxing him. Vergil Ortiz is a vicious body puncher, and you saw that. You saw them have an effect on Kavalaskis. Kavalaskis is tough, but body shots bring the, I'm not going to sit here and say the word I want to say, but the cowardice out of anyone. And eventually you're going to succumb to body shots. Those shots really hurt. And I hate when people say body shots don't hurt, because that's bullshit. Body shots hurt. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, they hurt. But Kavalaskis really has nothing to be ashamed of. He's fighting a young, budding, future champion, perhaps, once the Terrence Crawfords, Errol Spence of the world kind of fade away. I think Vergil Ortiz is the future. And you can tell that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Dazn really want to showcase the talent. And I'm glad they did. I'm really happy to see Bob Arum and Top Rank collaborating with Golden Boy. If I'm not mistaken, Kavalaskis should be a top-ranked fighter because he fought Terrence Crawford, and you know how Bob is. He won't let Terrence Crawford fight anyone out of that stable. But in the 8th round, Vergil Ortiz ended up dropping him 4 times and stopped him right before he got to the 9th. So I know there are no moral victories in boxing, but Kavalaskis was the hardest test of Vergil Ortiz's career, and a really good measuring stick for the question. I know everyone's talking about the Terrence Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz fight. And I think, truthfully, is he ready? I don't think he's ready for Terrence Crawford. I don't think anyone's really ready for Terrence Crawford. But what I will say is, if Oscar wants to test and sell his fighter and sell a fighter, and Bob Arum wants to sell a fighter that could potentially have a shot, I think Vergil Ortiz is is the perfect candidate. Look, he's been fighting better opposition. He's stepping up, and the kid is just a good fighter. And you never know what fighting someone like Terrence Crawford can do for your career. I mean, look what happened to Canelo when he fought Mayweather. When you find out where you rank against the creme de la creme, then you know. I actually recently, I'll give you an anecdotal piece of evidence. I had a amateur fighter that literally had 2 fights. We won a tournament out in Atlanta, and then we signed up for a tournament where the person, women's boxing tournaments are really, really, I don't want to sit here and say small, but a lot of women's fighters don't really sign up for tournaments, especially because you're often matched against people with a lot of experience. And the girl that we fought had 30 fights plus we had 2. But I kind of know the girl that we fought, and we know and we're familiar with her. So I took the fight. And to me, it was all upside. You win, crazy. You know where you stand. You make a major upset, but you lose. You know more or less where you stand and where you got to work towards. And plus, when you're in there with someone else that's such high level and such high IQ, it motivates you to be a better fighter. And you see more or less, all right, I got to tighten X, Y, and Z and up. But on the flip side, I do think it's kind of a risk. I mean, I don't think Vergil Ortiz, if he were to fight Terrence Crawford and win, I mean, his stock goes through the roof, right? I mean, Vergil Ortiz would potentially make an argument that he's one of the best 147 pounders in the world if he beats Terrence Crawford. I'm sure there would be a rematch, and who knows how that would go. But he basically accelerates himself and puts himself at the top, and really in the argument to where he stands. But with Vergil Ortiz, if he were to lose to Terrence Crawford, I don't think it really hurts his career, truthfully. He's a young up and coming fighter. Terrence Crawford is arguably 1 or 2 if you talk about pure boxing skill. I wish he fought or had a better resume at 147, because he arguably could be number 1. Talent wise, I don't think there's anyone out there that is that much better than Terrence Crawford. I just feel like his resume is holding him back on that pound for pound list. So I don't think Vergil Ortiz will win against Terrence Crawford, but why not? I mean, the kid is 18, has 18 wins, 18 KOs. Maybe he breaks down Terrence Crawford, but there were certain things in the fight that I don't feel will work as well against Crawford. Like having a stiff jab is fantastic, right? But against a lefty like Crawford, he can counter you with that right hook. He can go to your body with that left hand. Vergil Ortiz likes to keep his hands up. Terrence Crawford loves to throw that uppercut or that shovel hook over the top. And Terrence Crawford knows how to neutralize the front hand. I mean, you see Shakur Stevenson, you see the influence it's had on him, and he just knows how to kind of shut it down. And then also, he could be righty, shoulder roll the right hand, and the body work may leave Vergil Ortiz susceptible for some uppercuts. But regardless, I think Vergil Ortiz, if he touches Terrence Crawford, it's going to be the toughest test of Terrence Crawford's career at 147. So put him in there. Is he ready? No, but when are you ever really ready for anything in life? There's always that element of surprise and whether you can rise to the occasion. There are certain special people out there. Maybe Vergil Ortiz, when you put him in the pressure cooker, is going to become a fighter that we've never seen before. And plus, Robert Garcia, well, he's a great tactician. So yesterday, I'm very, very excited about the fights. Let me know what you guys think. Put that like, comment. I love the support I've been getting lately. We're almost at 300 subs. And honestly, it's just been fun doing this and receiving the support and the love, even the hate, the comments, whatever. I don't care. I just really, really like doing this. And your comments make the topics better and just helps me make better arguments, truthfully, because I've been wrong about a lot, but I've been right about a lot. And truthfully, it's just been a really, really nice experience. And thank you so much for the support. And I'm going to be out of here. Okay. Be well. Have a good day.